my name is Kat and welcome to my vegan experiment. Today is another episode of my new series on this channel called Instructor Chats, and today is again one for the diving tips for newbies. So welcome if you haven't watched the other two videos, and yeah, welcome to the diving family. Today's video is all about the equipment you need as a new scuba diver. So welcome and let's get into it. Please don't forget, of course, to subscribe, like, and join the family. I'm more than happy to have you guys here. I mean, I'm thrilled. Thank you so much. I can't believe how much love I've been getting on these videos. So I love providing valuable content. So if you have any questions, leave them down below. Send me a message on my Instagram, vegandivercat, and I'll get back to you. And look forward to diving with you sometime. So let's get into it. So the first thing you're going to need when you go scuba diving, of course, is some equipment. Now, disclaimer, diving is not the cheapest sport in the world, and it is something you have to consider when you're getting into it, and don't scoff at the prices. Thanks to this equipment, we can live underwater. Live, you know what I mean. You can be underwater for certain amounts of time, so don't skimp on it. Actually put aside some money, so not only the cost of the course, which drastically varies from $200 to $600 depending on levels and such. You can check out my other video about the kind of courses. Click that up there. Otherwise, yeah, just keep in mind it's not the cheapest sport in the world. But then again, would you want to jump out of an airplane with a cheap parachute? I don't know. When you are starting to dive, you're not going to need to buy your tank, you're not going to need to buy your BCD regulators and all of the equipment you need to dive in the future. To start off with, you just need the basics, and that is the software, or the mask, snorkel, and fins. So today I'm just going to talk you through some of the basics, explain to you why I picked the equipment I've picked, and what I would recommend to you guys. So let's start with the most important part. Of course, it's our mask. This is my Scuba Pro solo mask that I've had for about 4 years now, and it is my absolutely favorite mask in the world. So the way you pick your mask, I have a whole video about this, but you want to put it up to your face and make sure it sticks like that. Now there's several options of masks, of course. There's the clear ones, which is my preference since I get a little bit claustrophobic with the dark ones. There are the black silicone ones, which look way cooler than this one does. And then there is the 2-cell or the 1-cell. I like the 1-cell because it gives me more vision. However, if you need any prescription glass things, you want to get the 2-cell masks because then they actually can put in the lenses of your prescription, so you don't need to wear contacts underwater. So yeah, so that's the first thing. Masks go between about $50 and $120. So yeah, just kind of in terms of this one, I would recommend always getting 2-cell or Scuba Pro just because they have the softest silicone that I've experienced. However, any mask that fits your face shape well, so that sticks onto your face and is comfortable, isn't hurting you in this area or in this area, then pick that one. That's really what you're going for, is comfort, because if your mask is leaking, it's just going to cause a lot more stress throughout your diving. If you are curious to check out some of the top fears you might be experiencing during your first course, click the link up there because I just did a video about that. So yeah, check it out. So that's the mask. The next thing, of course, is a good recommendation is to have fins. Now there are typically two types of fins. You have your closed foot fins, and then you have your open heel fins. Now, it depends which area in the world you're diving in, so usually places which are quite warm, such as Cairns or Indonesia, Thailand, they'll have a lot of these closed foot fins because they're much smaller to carry, they're lighter, and you don't need to keep your feet warm. Majority of the other places in the world, you're going to need these open heel fins because they allow you to wear booties. Booties will keep you a little bit warmer if you're diving in colder waters, and they're actually just more comfortable. So I would always recommend trying to go for these booties, because then you also have this wonderful pair of water shoes, which I've worn to go, you know, like canyoning and walking around in mangroves and all sorts of stuff. So they're just really great to have as shoes as well. So in terms of the fins, which ones you want to be picking, again, depends on your finances, but these are two of my favorites. So the Mares Quattros, they're very popular, very sturdy. I have had these, how long? I've had these since 2013, and as you can see, they're in very good conditions. They just have a few scratches on them. And then these are my Scuba Pro Sea Wing Novas, which are my babies, and they're probably the fins I have recommended most to people in the world, and that's just because they are so powerful. They go to absolutely no size, so you can pack them up really well. And they have these beautiful bright colors. But again, depends on your priorities. It will depend what is also available in your stores. But yeah, you want to be trying on these fins and making sure they're not too tight or anything, because it's probably better to actually put a sock in there because these do cause blisters over longer periods of time. If you're going to opt for the closed heel fins, you want to make sure that the booty you choose and the size you choose doesn't overhang the back by more than about 1.5 centimeters, 2 centimeters, but you don't want it to be all the way in, because then it's going to be too big. So you want that to be just the right size, the Goldilocks theory. Again, hopefully the people who work in the dive shops will help fit you for the perfect size. What I do recommend as well is putting the fins on and just leaving them on your feet for a little while, just to make sure that no pain starts happening. Because just imagine how with shoes, that you're walking underwater, same thing. If there's a little bit of pain in the shop, once you start diving, it can cause a lot of pain. These fins in particular, for anyone who has high arches, they cause pain at the top. So I do recommend getting the soft soled booties. There's also hard soled booties, which are even more durable. They're great as well, a little bit more expensive, but they're very hardy. But again, for fins like this, they don't work together because they really push up your arch by quite a bit. Yep, so that is your fins. And as you can see, my fins say catfish on the back of them because I used to play underwater rugby, and this was so my mom could recognize me in the photos. Then of course the last piece of equipment I do not have, but it is a snorkel. Now there's a whole range of snorkels available out there, but I do recommend not getting the dry top snorkels. I'll insert a picture, and that is because of course those are better for snorkeling. They're very heavy, so they're going to be taking up a lot of room and a lot of space around your head, and they will also they work in a system where if you dive down with the mouthpiece in your mouth, they'll stay dry. However, when you're scuba diving, you have a regulator in your mouth and you don't have the snorkel, so it just fills up with water, and it's just, there's no point to it. So just pick one of the cheaper snorkel options. They're not really, you know, it's not the most important thing. These things is where you want to be spending more of your money, and make sure it has a little bendy part. Again, I'll insert the picture, since in a lot of places in the world you have to have that bendy part for it to be classified as a scuba diving snorkel, so it can move out of the way when you put in the regulator. So yeah, so you want to make sure as a beginner diver to invest in your mask, in a good pair of fins, and your snorkel. Eventually you can be adding on more and more gear. The next thing I'd probably recommend is getting your dive computer or your wetsuit, but to start off with, this is all you need to make sure you are fully comfortable in your open water course and in your start of diving.